In other news, a rocket attack has been reported in Kabul in Afghanistan. Rockets have reportedly landed on the tennis court of the Indian ambassador's residence. The incident happened at about 11:15 this morning. The Indian ambassador's house is in the heavily fortified diplomatic quarters in Kabul, which houses a number of embassies, guest houses and Resolute Support headquarters. No casualties have been reported. The rocket attack coming amid high security in Afghanistan's capital following last week's deadly explosions. An international peace summit, in fact, is due to begin in Kabul amid high security on Tuesday. Representatives from around 23 countries are in Kabul for a meeting aimed at establishing peace in the country. Let me get in WION's correspondent Daniele Pagani for more details on this. Daniele, we've been talking about this security concerns in Kabul. We're seeing one attack after the other. What reports are you gathering as far as the ground situation is concerned?
Well, Sana, the situation in Kabul is deteriorating very fast, and this happened not just from the Wednesday attack, but also from a couple of weeks before. We have constant reports of people with weapons associated to several political parties who are conducting sit-in and protest within the city of Kabul. And there are worrying messages coming out from Mr. Massoud, who is the son of the legendary commander of the Northern Alliance, who says that they are willing to request formally to the government to leave the position and to abandon the position. They would like to overthrow the president. And also the Foreign Affairs Ministry has recently issued a statement which says that they would like to replace the current government. So the government is under full pressure. The Taliban are advancing. Kabul is definitely under attack. The central part of the city is completely under a total lockdown. It is impossible to move, and a very important summit is happening today. Now, regarding the rocket which reached the Indian ambassador's residence, it is very early to say. We just have the report of this fact, so we have no idea about who could have possibly launched the rocket, which will be the most interesting part of this event.
Absolutely. Daniele, in fact, news coming in, Ashraf Ghani of Afghanistan, in fact, he addressed that peace conference earlier today, and this is what he said. He said Afghanistan is suffering undeclared war of aggression from Pakistan. We've seen Afghanistan upping the ante against Pakistan in the last couple of weeks or so. Give us a sense into what's happening as well.
Yes, so basically, right after the Wednesday attack, if I am not wrong, the very same day, the presidency and the Afghan Security Council decided to blame Pakistan for the attack. They say that especially the Haqqani network, which is mostly based in Quetta and its surrounding, was behind the attack. And this is not something which comes out of the blue. It's history now. Everybody knows that Pakistan, when I say Pakistan, I'm not saying the entire nation nor the entire government, but the deep state and part of the Pakistani establishment have been helping and hosting and hiding the Taliban leadership at a time when the Americans were entering and invading the country. So the links are there and are evident, and possibly due to the fact that the Ghani government is getting closer and closer to India since at least 2 years, and India is investing $2 billion and one more on top of the already two that they were investing. The possibility of Pakistan interfering with Afghanistan security is very much likely.
All right, Daniele, hold on to that thought. Sharif Hasanyar, he's a senior journalist joining me from Afghanistan at this point in time. Mr. Hasanyar, thanks so much for joining us. We're trying to gather what's the present situation in Afghanistan as we speak. There is a peace conference which is underway at this point, and we're also hearing that Ashraf Ghani, he's come out and again blamed Pakistan for the chaos that the country is witnessing.
Thank you very much. As you mentioned, also there is a peace conference which is named Kabul Conference. It's underway in the Kabul, and it started at 9 o'clock where local time in Kabul, and it's still underway. President Ghani has a speech here. And the speech was about the peace process and Pakistan. And exactly, President Ghani is said that we want from Taliban that you you don't have much time to come to the peace process. There's time to come to the peace process, and the peace process door is not always open to the Taliban. But there is time for the peace process. And also President on Pakistan, that Pakistan should be part of the peace process, should not be the sponsor of the terrorist group in the area. At the meantime, when the conference is underway, there was a rocket shell down in the Indian envoy residential area at the tennis field.
That's right.
Eventually, people say there is no casualties on the area, that the rocket was shelled down on that area. There actually, the Indian residential area is in a very diplomatic area. It is close to the ISAF, or we can say NATO HQ headquarters. It is close to the youth embassy, and also it's close to the palace. And also it is close to Ariana Hotel, which is the CIA-based counter-affair.
Right. Also, Mr. Hassan Yar, I want to ask you two things. A, the timing of the attack corresponding with the peace conference, and B, the significance of this attack taking place or perhaps targeting the, Indian ambassador's residence clearly. Do you see a link between these two anyway?
Actually, as I mentioned, the conference was started at 9 o'clock and the rocket was shut down at 11 o'clock. It means 2 hours after the starting of the program. Still, the conference is underway and it will be ended at 4 o'clock by local time, which is 5 o'clock in India. And there is no interfering to the conference, and the conference is underway. Still, everybody is there, and there is no problem with the conference. About targeting Indian NBC, and the Indian envoy residential area, it's not clear. You know that the insurgency had planned to create lots of problems in front of the Kabul conference, because that there was a huge explosion on Wednesday in Kabul.
Right.
And again, there were some reports that the insurgents the terrorist groups and insurgents will do some other exclusion during the Kabul conference. But because of that, the Afghan security forces take a tight security around that area. But unfortunately, the rocket was shot down on the area.
Right.
And it seems that the rocket was fired from a long way and it comes down there.
All right, perhaps we'll wait for more details to emerge as far as this rocket attack was concerned. Appreciate you joining us, Mr. Hassan Yar, and thanks so much, Daniel Ipagani, for joining us with a perspective on these latest developments from Kabul.